Hi, I'm Rick Kaler. Thanks for joining me. Well, here's a new twist on an old New Year's resolution. If you want to give yourself the security of financial independence, try budgeting the way many wealth accumulators do. The secret? They don't. You heard me right, they don't budget. Now, your first reaction might be, well, of course these people don't budget. They have so much money, they just don't need to. That may be true for some of those who have money today, but I'm referring to people who want to remain wealthy or those who are wealth accumulators. These people really don't start out with money, but they build up significant wealth over time. Many successful wealth accumulators don't follow a detailed budget in the traditional sense, and that might surprise you. But instead, they develop the habit of living on less than they make. In doing this, they still get to spend everything that's in the checking account every month. But here's how they do it. First, they set really clear priorities. Out of every dollar that they earn, take taxes out first. If you receive a paycheck from an employer, this is done for you. On any earnings where taxes aren't withheld, estimate the amount of tax you owe and stick it into savings and don't touch it. Number 2, take out 15 to 30% to invest in your future. When you're just starting out, you may have to begin with a much lower percentage, but begin and be consistent. Research tells us if you have 30 years until retirement and you plan to live for 30 years after retirement, you need to save 17% of your salary to maintain the same standard of living upon retirement. When you get a raise, contribute 2/3 of it to your investments and use 1/3 for increasing your lifestyle. If you want to become financially independent, this step is essential. Now save another 10 to 20% for emergencies and short-term needs like vacations, Christmas, and replacing vehicles. Again, you may have to start with a lower percentage, but begin with whatever you can and be consistent. Next, take out 5 to 10% for giving. And then live on the rest. Pay bills as they come in. Use what's left over for discretionary lifestyle spending, eating out, entertainment, paying the home mortgage, however you want to spend it. Now this seems pretty simple. Well, simple isn't necessarily the same as easy. By now, if you've done the math, you can see that following this plan means living on as little as 1/2 to even 1/3 of your gross earnings. If you're living from paycheck to paycheck, just barely managing to pay the bills, the idea of living on half of what you make goes beyond absurd. It probably seems impossible. It may, in the short term, be impossible. Yet there are ways to live on less than you earn, even if, to begin with, it's only a little bit less. Share a cheap apartment with someone, or drive an old car that you don't have to make payments on. A friend of mine just bought a 1999 pickup with only 80,000 miles for $5,000. Pretty good deal. Eat at home. Buy used furniture and secondhand clothes. Get a temporary job solely for the purpose of building up some savings. Now what's important? You need to develop the pattern of living on less than you make. Fostering a frugal mindset is absolutely essential if you want to achieve financial independence. When you commit to saving first, even if you can only save a small amount, you've made one of the wisest financial decisions that you can ever make. This non-budgeting spending style takes away much of the pressure of trying to follow a rigid budget. There's no need to keep track of envelopes or categories. You've made the hard decisions first, and you get to spend everything else in the checkbook. Budgeting without a budget can turn you into a wealth accumulator. It works because you take your future off the top. Thanks for joining me.